Hi guys, Jarrod here again. I had a little more time to play with the OUYA, and I gotta say, this really is the the one-stop shop for emulators. If you're really into that sort of thing, we're not all for piracy here, but what I am a fan of are Japanese imports. And one thing that is very, very awkward is with role-playing games, certain ones that were never released in North America. I mean, we've had remakes and things like that, and I've supported all of them. I've bought them, like I have tons of them. But there's something about playing the original games, you know what I mean? And a lot of fans out there, they've come together throughout the years, and they've done these wicked fan translations and things like that, and really, really impressive stuff. For example, like Dragon Quest 1 and 2, 3, 5 and 6 on the Super Famicom have all been fan translated, and you can play them all on this, and they work wonderfully. Now, just wanted to touch on that with the emulators. So the other thing I wanted to touch on was I've had some time to mess around with the OS, and if you're wondering where the hell's the video, well, I need to explain this to you. I actually record my videos on a 720p television, mainly because it's the closest one near the computer. I use the Game Capture, the Elgato Game Capture HD. And what ends up happening is it gets a 1080p signal from a device like this, goes into the Game Capture card, and then from that it sends the 1080p signal to the television. Now normally the television would cut that signal and say like, oh, I'm 720p, and force it to 720p. But unfortunately I have a Samsung here, and they're notorious for doing these sorts of things. And what happens is you basically have to tell this device to output in 720p. And unfortunately, the OUYA has no display resolution settings at all. So there is nothing I can do. There is no quick fix. So I'm looking at potential options I have here. I can buy like just another computer monitor and put it by my other ones purposely for recording videos. Or, I don't know. I mean, the television that we have is fine. That's why we have a better television. But there's just no need. Do you know what I mean? Like this is perfect the way it is. So anyways, I'm trying to debate exactly what I'm going to do. I won't leave you hanging. Whatever I decide to do will be done in the next few days. But let's keep going. So I had a chance. I set it all up. I did capture the video for that. it was laggy as hell through the computer. I'm going to see what I can actually keep. I think I'm going to head over to my friend's place actually, capture a couple of other little things so I can give you a walkthrough of the system itself. But I just wanted to give you a more in-depth impressions of sort of like my thoughts here. So one thing I adore about the OUYA is every single thing that is on this little tiny box is free. Now, not exactly free. What I mean by it is when you go into the Discover area, which is essentially the shop, the rule that the guys at OUYA have done is if you want to release anything on the OUYA store, if you want to call it that, marketplace, whatever, you have to have something free. Either your entire game has to be free, or there has to be a playable demo free, or it's got to be one of those like microtransactions games, whatever. But the point is, every single piece of software that is on this system has some form of free either demo or whatever. So I downloaded things like Final Fantasy III officially, the like DS one that has been all remastered for like the big screen. Really impressive, but I don't want to talk about that because I will figure out how to show videos of this. There's also a dubstep shooter that is awesome. Best game on the OUYA right now. It's completely free. I know it's only one level because it's actually a Kickstarter in and of itself, and I am going right now and I'm going to go and give those guys some money because it's brilliant. I'll touch base on that again a little bit later on. I found the OS very, very primitive. I detest the way this thing is set up. It's overly simple in some areas and then overly complex in another. For example, if you want to actually save something to this, you can't just take a USB stick, shove it in the back, like go to where that is, okay, like in the file system, and just copy it to the 8 GB of internal memory. You can't do it. It doesn't allow you. And since there's only one USB port, you need like a USB hub if you want to, say, plug in multiple controllers to have friends playing on this thing. or you'd have to go and buy a whole buttload of these. So that's kind of cumbersome. It is coming in an update where they will allow USB transfers and things like that. I did a quick fix where I basically went from the browser on this to Dropbox, and then from Dropbox I installed it on here. It's called sideloading, I think. And I was able to then upload different ROMs, like those Japanese ones I was telling you about, like Fire Emblem, that's been for Super Famicom, that's been all fan translated. And again, I own the originals, so I don't look at it as like I'm stealing anything. I'm one of these guys who has thousands of games. But we don't support piracy here. I just want to make that very clear. But I wanted to show you guys like some of those things, and I plan on doing that. I just have to come over this sort of hurdle right now. So yeah, the store also I'm not a big fan of. Really, it's just a bunch of like boxes all over the damn place, and you're just scrolling endlessly. There's a search, but what am I searching for? It's a brand new console. I don't know what the heck is on there. So I did play a few things. Some of the software that is made for the OUYA, there was this thing, Chrono Blade, I think it was called. Everyone was raving about it, and I downloaded that directly to the internal memory, the internal storage rather, and I just found it sluggish. Like there was lag all over the damn place. I was like, okay, I don't get like what the hell is going on here. Played that dubstep game, phenomenal. Had no issues whatsoever. It was beautiful, crystal clear, smooth, fantastic. In terms of the emulators, when I used Dropbox in order to get ROMs on this, I found the gameplay experience increase dramatically. When I used my USB stick, my little USB stick over here, I don't know, it was so sluggish. Like I would play Mario there, right? And you know, you hold the turbo down, and I'm like jumping, and there was like a second delay or something. You can't play a platformer with any delay whatsoever. The other thing is, I'm pretty much done with this controller. I'm only going to be using it for the touchpad if I need to download something from the browser, because right now that's the only way to get apps on this that I know of, other than the ones that are officially supported on the platform and the store and marketplace itself. But keep in mind, this bad boy runs Android, so because of that, you can put any Android application on it. So I'm trying different things and seeing what works and what doesn't. This is very cool, though. I'm really getting into like the indie aspect of it. I think they did a really good job with that, and I think this is going to be pretty cool overall. But yeah, this D-pad is god-awful. I was playing a couple of just, you know, games that were for free there, and your character is like running around, and he just dead stops, and it's because I don't know if it's the D-pad itself is just smooshy, or I don't know. So swapped over to my trusty PlayStation DualShock 3. Put the USB port in here when I downloaded everything. I'm going to buy a USB hub. I think it's going to be way easier if the ROMs and things like that can be played on these USB sticks without lag. But anyways, the minute I use this D-pad here, beautiful. I was able to play anything perfectly. The only thing is that this controller essentially becomes this controller. It doesn't recognize it as as a separate input device, which means all the buttons and everything like that you have to keep in mind are essentially mapped to this exact same thing. If any of you guys have an OUYA and you have any tips or suggestions for different apps or different things that you think I should check out, by all means let me know. Just wanted to come on to, like, you know, it's been a few hours I've been playing and whatnot. I wanted to give you an update on the video situation. I'll let you guys know tomorrow exactly what I've decided to do, whether I'm going to pick up a screen, go somewhere, or whatever. But yeah, there we go. That is the OUYA further extended impressions. And thanks for watching. As always, please leave a comment, subscribe, and like the video. It would be great. It helps. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll be back very soon.